All right, everybody. We're skipping the intro tonight. We're skipping the countdown because these fellas, I don't want to make them wait. They're hungry for some baseball talk, and I want to introduce each of these guys the proper way. Our first guest, you see on the bottom of the screen. We welcome in a man that owns more hats than San Diego Grand Slams in 2020. The creator of the Batflip Crazy podcast. This Liverpool lad did the pocket aces thing before it was cool. This king of the s'more who eats them out of the Girl Scout cookie box or on the campfire is an FSWA member, a high-stakes god, probably a beard model, who knows? The stat cat himself. It's Mr. Toby G, a.k.a. Batflip Crazy. What is going on, my friend?
Oh my good God. Every time I come on the show, it's just better and better and better. That was the best introduction I've ever had in my entire life. 100% accurate as well. So I just appreciate it so much. I love being here. Thanks, guys.
Oh man, you got to do it up for our friends, our big guests. So happy to put that out there for you. But you don't come alone. You usually come with a partner. And tonight we finally got the two together. And to introduce this man. Oh yeah. We welcome in a man with the voice that's been compared to angels singing. The creator of Benched with Bubba, writer and podcaster for Rotoballer, and the original Degen of Fantasy Sports Degens. This guy can also be called your favorite sniper of Doc in TGFBI. The FSWA member you love. The newest member of the Pew Pew Tout Wars. The baby Blue Jay of this episode. We welcome in KC Bubba. What's going on, man?
What is going on? I didn't know where you're going with that. I was getting really nervous over here, but that is outstanding. Really good stuff as usual. And in all honesty, it's not hard to snipe Doc, so it's cool.
You weren't as bad as Carlos. Carlos was awful being before me.
Yeah, our group chat was just going off. He's like, Bubba took this guy. Carlos took this guy. I was just like,
you two are the only ones taking people I want. Like, I knew when you would take Aaron Hicks. I knew I had to reach for Hunter Dozier to get him from you.
Yep, that's one of the downsides of talking so much like I do, because everyone knows what you want. I did 2 listener leagues last year. The 2 most random teams I've ever drafted in my life, because everybody I like gone. So yeah, fun times.
Oh man, I mean, it's been fun, the whole TGFBI process. Are you guys like all done with your drafts, or are you guys still going?
We just finished today.
Yep, we just got done today. It was a run, but Toby's still kind of limping along, I think.
Yeah, we're still plugging along. We're very methodical in our TGFBI. We want to make sure we get the picks right. So we're in the 27th round, I believe, right now.
Oh, you're ahead of us. We're only in round 24. So
wow. Man, I take back all my complaints. I'm so excited.
So this is a special episode. You guys are the first 3-time guests of this program, which means we didn't scare you away too much for accepting to come back. And so this is good. So I just wanted to say, so since you guys have been on here 3 times, you guys need official show nicknames. You know, we have Doc, we have Cheesecake, but I wanted to give you your own triple play version. So I made 3 of each for each of you. And you can tell me what you think of them, if they stick or not, just as just your own alias, if you will. So, Toby, I'll start with you first. You tell me if you like this name, okay? Your triple play alias number 1, Toby Pancakes. You like them. You stack up your leagues, and you butter up your competition to take them down.
Wow. I mean, this is like poetry right here.
I can't wait to see what the other 2 are.
I like that one the best, just for the record.
Okay. I like it a lot. I love pancakes.
And that was the other. I remember you saying on the dessert question that you were, or the breakfast question, you were all pancakes. The next one, to take a play from Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter, because you always have a different hat on every episode, and you make your competition mad when you take all their players.
All right. Except for tonight, you know, I thought I'd be like special. It's like I'm going to like
he showed up for
the
business
prom or
tonight.
something. I can't like wear a hat, you know, when I'm doing that.
Yeah, you surprised all. I was like, oh man, like my second nickname's not gonna stick now. And then the last one, just the bearded assassin. You go in, you do your thing, just let the beard just show to everybody, and you go on about your business.
Oh man, I have to choose one.
Toby Pancakes. That fits in with us.
I mean, like I'm just picturing like that bearded assassin logo, though. You know, where it's just like an outline of my face and my beard. You know, but it's like kind of like James Bondish too. You know, like
it's a pretty fierce one.
It is pretty fierce. I will go with the group, but I'll go with Toby Pancakes. I'll take Toby Pancakes. I like that one. You know, pancakes are a passion of mine. And so, you know, and I don't want people to think of me as somebody who might be violent, you know, like an assassin. So I'm going to go with, I'm a pacifist. I'm going to go with Toby Pancakes. Love pancakes. Don't assassinate people.
I love it. So Toby Pancakes is your triple play alias. So anytime you come back, that's what I'll now be referring to you as. We got the other side here now, Bubba. The first one for you, sweet BBQ, because you're a nice guy, a master on the grill. You char your fantasy players you play against, and that don't listen to your advice. So that's the first one.
Okay.
Second one, Donkey Kong. Because of
I love it.
Because of your patented call.
Yep.
And then obviously they got a dessert reference in here. He's a little cheesecake. You could be Cakey Smalls.
These are good. These are really good because I love the little cheesecake. I talk about it too much. Like that is such a great nickname. Cakey Smalls is good. I love the barbecue. The Donkey Kong is pretty good. I'm gonna go Cakey Smalls. Let's go Cakey Smalls. I think that's a fun one. Yes, Cakey
awesome.
Smalls. We're gonna go there.
Right.
The other two might be more fitting, but Cakey Smalls is fun. I like that.
I have a question. Does this mean we're related? Like Toby Pancakes and Cakey Smalls? Is that like
and little cheesecake?
This is a whole triple play family now. We had this is the initiation process.
Yeah,
this is a truly an honor.
Yeah, Cakey. I have to go change my Twitter bio right now.
I'm just gonna be Toby with some pancakes stacked next to it, you know, like beautiful. The emoji.
Have like a separate logo on the side. Oh, I'm gonna dope.
Change my profile. For sure.
Well, too good. I'm pumped that you guys are here tonight because we've got an important subject we got to talk about, and that's spring training ADP risers and fallers. So we're a few weeks into spring training. So it's time to make some early adjustments on how we feel about guys that we're seeing rise and fall in some drafts because everybody's kind of this recency bias thing. So I'm curious from you guys and then the other two as well. Are you buying the jumps? Are you trying to get these guys at higher values, defending if guys are falling and you're not worried about things? I'm very interested to kind of have you guys break down these hot names going on in spring training. So Cheesecake made an Excel sheet with a bunch of guys with ADP changes that you have at your disposal if you want to use them. But I would like to start off with a couple guys that are rising up or guys that just catch your eye, Toby. Who is the first guy you would like to talk about?
Oh man, a guy I would like to talk about first. Well, one guy who I don't know if he's quite rising yet, I'm going to go with the recency bias here, would be Freddie Peralta. He just had an incredible outing again today. The Brewers said afterwards, Casey Counsell said afterwards that they're planning to the plan right now is for him to go into the rotation. They've got a couple of arms that are struggling in there. And I think he has a lot of skills. I don't think people realize during the short season. Well, I think a lot of people realize, but you know, I didn't realize, I know like how good of a third pitch he was able to develop last year. And so the fact that he's taking that in and he's maybe in the starting rotation, I think bumps up his value considerably. So that's one guy I think that just based on, you know, recency bias as in today, right? 7 strikeouts in 2 2/3, I think. You know, but he seems like, you know, all he needs is that volume, and it looks like he's going to get an opportunity to do that. So that's one guy that I like a lot.
Yeah, he's been, I think, rising kind of since spring training started because that, if I'm not mistaken, that wasn't his first outing, right? That he had been kind of catching people's eyes. So I really love that call. Bubba, what about you? Who is somebody that's been catching your eye, whether it's been with the glove or with the bat? Who's that guy for you?
This one's too easy, and he started climbing the second he signed. But CJ Cron is legit. The climb is accurate. It's going to keep climbing. It's like that game on Price is Right where you just hope the cliffhanger where you just hope he goes high enough he doesn't stop. Otherwise, you get the yodeling the whole time down the hill. So that's kind of the CJ Cron thing. I'm a big fan of what he can do. You get him in Coors Field, and that is just dynamite. So he's already hit a couple bombs in spring, which is great to see. So he's healthy after the injury last season, the knee injury. CJ Cron's a guy I'm buying into 100%. Everyone clowns on these bad teams that guys go to, but Colorado, Coors Field, CJ Cron, it's a match made in heaven. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of dongs tweeted out during the season regarding CJ Cron. That's all I have to say.
It's only competition's Josh Fuentes.
And that's not competition at all. The only competition is the managerial staff making sure they make the right decision. Yeah. That's the competition.
Oh, yeah. So do you think 30 home runs from him this season? Is that?
Oh, yeah. If he's healthy all year, yes. Okay. I always forget. Like, I want to quote it, but you can look it up. Just search Derek Carty Cron in your Twitter search, and it'll come up. The second he signed, he put his algorithm for him and Coors Field through the Bat X, and it like breaks the algorithm for where his ADP is. It's 40-something home runs. It's a high 200 average. It's ridiculous numbers that going to be hard to sustain, but it's kind of half believable because of Coors Field and what he can do. So I think 30 plus is very, very doable. But I'm also a gigantic Cron homer, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm hoping he goes just bananas.
Oh, yeah. And it's one of those guys that fits in really well with the late crop of first baseman that you're able to take if you wait on the position. So yeah. I think that's a great call. Cheesecake, let's go to you next. Who's somebody that's been catching your eye in these spring training games?
Well, I was looking at how Jake McGee's been rising up the draft board. He's gone up about 40 spots in the last since February. It looks like a lot of people are assuming he's going to be the Giants closer, and we haven't seen anything from Reyes Maranta yet. I don't think. Roster Resource has 4 different guys. Matt Whistler's they think is in the picture, but Jake McGee was very good in his time with the Dodgers last year. They didn't really use him in high leverage situations. The average WOBA against him for hitters was like 306, really, really below league average. His 4 playoffs appearances were in games that the Dodgers did not really have a chance in, but he had an incredibly high K rate. So, he's probably the healthiest guy who looks the part of a closer for the Giants. I'm still hoping Reyes Maranta gets the job because I took him, but McGee is a guy who I would definitely also take as well as a potential closer.
And we all know that the closing situation, the crisis that's among the league, guys are getting hurt. No one knows who's closing. He kind of fits right in as one of them you can get in your later rounds that you don't have to spend a lot of draft capital on. And again, could maybe get you, if he gets the job, maybe gets you 10, 15, 20 saves. You never know. So it's an interesting choice to go to closer there. Doc, where are you going for this question?
So I feel like this guy was really coming up ADP right when the TGFBI started, and that's Andrew Vaughn, who was 293 and jumped to 250. I mean, he's going to be hitting in a stacked White Sox lineup. He's already homered this spring. The hitting coach said he has no fear. He has his own approach, and he knows what works. It's just a matter of getting the reps in. Jose Abreu thinks he's major league ready. And I think what we have to remember for this season is even though last season felt like a full one, it was only 60 games. That's almost a third of, or less than a third of what it would be in 162. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. Even if he doesn't begin the season with the team, I think he's going to be called up quickly, and he's going to be in a great position to outperform that ADP.
I think he's starting at DH from the opening.
That's what I read, but you never know with service time how they want to manipulate it.
Yeah, so sign an early deal and he'll be fine. I saw him when he played. Yes. I saw him when he played for Cal. He came to play Cal Poly, so I made a point to go see him play. And he's like a mini Josh Donaldson out there. It's scary, like the way he stands, the way he hits. I watched them walk him intentionally 3 times to load the bases for the cleanup hitter. That's like the second week of the baseball season. Wow. So he is that good when it comes to hitting the baseball.
So there was another first baseman that I wanted to ask about how you guys are feeling. That's good old Bobby Dulbeck. So for the guys in the bottom, what are your thoughts on Bobby Dahlbach? I waited on first base in my TGFBI. I snagged him. I think it was around 20 or so. And I mean, 40 home run upside, it seems like is very real with him. I know the Ks are troublesome. I think he struck out almost half his at-bats last year, like 39 and 80 at-bats. Are you guys okay with getting him in a non-points league? I know points league he's a killer, but in any kind of roto format, are you guys game with trying to grab him?
Go for it, Toby.
I'm not really. I don't want to diss the pick, especially after I was given, the name of Toby Pancakes. My goal is not to, no, I'm not a huge fan of Dahlbach. There's a couple reasons. I mean, number one, the strikeout stuff is real. I mean, last year there was the 42.5% strikeout rate. When you look at his in-zone contact and his overall contact rate, they were really, really bad. And the only reason why it looks like a decent line that he put up, right, the 263 batting average, a 394 BABIP. He also had a 44.4% home run to fly ball rate. He's projected to have between a 218 and a 230 batting average. And so I can see taking a shot at him. I mean, you're drafting him in the 20th round, right? So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. He certainly has the raw power potential. I just don't think that there's enough contact in the bat for it to play at this point. But it's it's a high upside pick at that point in time, because if he does hit, or if he just gets hot and he's able to make some contact at the beginning of the season, he can certainly do a lot of damage in that Red Sox lineup. So I'm personally not that interested in him, but I can see why there is interest in him.
Yeah, if you're super confident in your batting average on your team, then sure. But I was talking with someone the other day, and the game has turned into a 3 true outcome game. Bobby Dahlbach is a 2 true outcome game. It's a strikeout or a home run, it feels like. So just know that going into it. The K rate is legit. It's like 40% or give or take, right around there, which is not good. But he hits the ball a mile. He hits it very hard when he does hit it. So it's an interesting game. If he finds the batting average, you're going to be the happiest person in the world. I just don't see that happening. So I'm out for now, but I get it. For those that want to take the chance, just make sure your roster's got some batting average stability to it.
No, I agree. And especially in that point in the draft, you could always double up. There's like Rowdy Tellez is going there. Joey Votto is going there. You may be able to get CJ Kroner. There's a lot of other guys there too. If you're worried about if he's going to stick, if he gets sent down, I feel like you can pair him up with another guy, even with a little bit more batting average upside, like you guys said. And then you have to bench him, move on. Let's go to another guy. Let's talk about another guy that is kind of elevating in spring training in your eyes, that you're like, all right, you got my eye, you got my attention, you got Toby Pancake's attention. Who's that guy, Toby?
Oh man, it's so hard, because like the things that I generally pay attention to in spring training that I actually that I really care about are fastball velocity. So I want to see increases in fastball velocity. And then, it's kind of lineup positions. And we're not really at that point in spring training yet where I feel like we're getting those solid lineups quite yet. But I'm going to go with another pitcher. And this guy is definitely, he doesn't show up in the spreadsheet, and he's not like an ADP riser. He's kind of a big sleeper for me. And that is Jeff Hoffman of the Reds.
Yes.
He came over from Colorado. He already had, borderline elite fastball velocity. I believe it's up about a tick. I think he averaged like 96.1 in his recent 3 innings, 4 Ks, 1 hit outing. It's obviously spring training. We don't know the lineup that he was going up against, but he already had 2 decent secondaries. And with the player development staff that they have in Cincinnati, the pitch design, drive line, things like that, I feel like they can make the most out of his arsenal. And I think there's kind of 2 routes to value for him as well. I think the first one is he finds his way somehow in that rotation, right? Michael Lorenzen, sorry, SP streamer, but he's struggling a lot so far in spring. Again, it's early in spring, but in terms of competition, so there's a path to the rotation potentially for Hoffman. But I think there's also the path to the closer role for Hoffman as well. You have Amir Garrett, who hasn't thrown at all. You obviously have TJ Anton, who's really, really good. They actually threw back-to-back, and Anton and Hoffman had pretty much like identical lines. And so I really think that he's a guy who's got a couple paths to value. He's not going to cost you anything in any draft that you're in. I mean, he's a 30th rounder, if that. I was drafting him after ADP of 700 in Draft Champions, draft and hold league. So I really like what I think he can do in Cincinnati now that he's outside of Colorado. And so he's a guy that I'm going to be targeting. So I'm cheating a little bit because he's not going up in ADP, but he's a guy who has impressed me so far in spring training.
So pancakes, I heard this on Bench with Bubba actually today, that Ryan Bloomfield talking about how he thinks the next guy in line might be Sean Doolittle, and that would be who he'd put his money on if it was today. Are you worried that he would be behind Sean Doolittle in the closing pecking order?
Doolittle certainly has the history to go on his side. And Ryan's a great analyst. And I have not been like reading every little detail.
I'm ready for the boom pancakes.
Yep. I'm waiting for the bomb to drop.
But so Doolittle has thrown 2 innings so far, and he's given up 3 home runs and 6 earned runs. Oof. And his fastball is like 92, 93.
It's spring training. He's working on something.
It could definitely be that. And that's the thing is I don't want to be like, he could easily end up being the closer, but I just don't know if he is that guy anymore, especially like in that ballpark. He's an intense fly ball pitcher. Doolittle, he's always been one of the kind of league leaders, even in the bullpen, in terms of fly balls, and that's not great in that ballpark as it is. So I think he's got a lot of things going up against him, in addition to the fact that the Reds just have a boatload of arms that are really good. I mean, Lucas Sims is also really good. I don't know if they'll go with a set closer. I just feel like for me, I'd put my money now on Sims over Hoffman for sure. But I just think that there's multiple ways that he can kind of provide value, and I really like what he's done so far in spring.
Real quick, the things with Sims is he's just doing side work and throwing on flat ground, but he's expected to be ready by opening day. So he's still battling his injury as well.
I was actually going to tweet out today that I think the Cincinnati bullpen might be the messiest bullpen in the bigs, and then everybody would just come back and say, "What about the Rays bullpen?" Like you never know.
That's true.
But I just feel like with Cincinnati, you want to have one closer, but everybody's just kind of like not stepping up, whether it's injury related, performance related. So it's kind of frustrating. Bubba, let's go back to you then. Who is the next guy, whether it's because the ADP is rising, they've been catching your eye, or just somebody you've been watching them play and you've been liking what you're seeing?
Well, gentlemen, we're going to head back to Coors Field. And this is one that going into last season, I wrote a sleeper article on him. I was all in on him. Then Vlad Sedler tweets about him, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is the greatest guy ever." You had little old me in the corner, Cakey Smalls over here eating ice cream to go with the cake, just living life. But his name's Sam Hilliard, and this is a guy that's going very, very late in drafts. We saw in the minor leagues, it was last minor league season, 2019, 22 and 35 homers, 22 steals. He's always had 20-plus stolen base upside. The power started to show up the last couple of years. All projection sites have him for double digits in both, but that's only in 100 games. The kicker here, everyone's drafting Raimel Tapia, and I have as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, you took him early.
That can be attested. But see, that's what the problem with a slow draft that takes as long as ours does, and others. I know ours just finished first, so I shouldn't say that, but things change. Things change. And you look at Mike Curlin's lineups things, and this has nothing to do where he's hitting the lineup, but the playing time situation right now. Sam Hilliard is in the lineup either in center field or left field almost every day, where Tapia and Hampson are rotating every other day. So where we used to think it was like Sam Hilliard would back up those two guys, they're just kind of rotating with each other, and Hilliard's moving back and forth from center to left field. So Sam Hilliard's playing every day, where he's getting drafted, he's an absolute steal. So that's where I think he's worth the gamble. If something weird happens, he doesn't play, you take him so late, you can drop him. But the upside for Sam Hilliard, especially on those weeks where he's playing 4+ games in Coors Field, you're going to love life in a very big way. Didn't
Vlad have a confrontation with his mom?
I think she favored his tweet or something, and then I don't know if sliding into DMs happened or anything. That's just pure speculation. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no clue. But hey, one can dream, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it. I mean, anybody in Coors already has your attention.
Yes.
And then if he's, Mike is doing such a great job with those lineup takeaways. You can see if guys are starting in there every single day, if they're hitting in the similar spot in the batting order. So it's a good point as well.
And see, he's been moving all over the order. So that part's kind of like in flux. I'm just super excited he's playing almost every day, no matter what the platoon situation is.
Are you worried about the biggest tease in baseball, Garrett Hampson, potentially getting in the way of that?
Well, see, that's what I was worried about. But like Hampson plays center field, they move Hilliard to left. And then the days Hampson doesn't play, Tapia plays left field and Hilliard moves to center. So it's pretty much Hampson and Tapia seem to be in the platoon right now where Hilliard's playing. Now, that could always be a problem. Like, just go trade Trevor Story and we can just make so much more fun of this.
Yeah.
But for now, the way things are going early in spring, Hilliard's playing like 80% of the time where the other two are rotating every other day. So I'll take that chance. Give me 80% of Hilliard and Coors over 50% of those two guys, and I'm pretty happy.
Thank you, Ian Desmond, for opting out, for clearing this up.
Oh my God, that would have been.
And I have him on like three.
Jam.
Yeah, with him, Daniel Murphy retired. It's Arenado traded. We've almost cleaned up the mess. There's a few more in the way.
Cheesecake. Well, we'll go back to you next. Who is somebody that you are targeting rising up draft boards?
Someone who I should have targeted and didn't. Jock Peterson, maybe it's the homer in me. He's hitting a lot of home runs this spring, and he's hitting the ball really hard. I've seen 4. I think they've all been off righties. So maybe he still looks like he's going to have the platoon splits, but the Cubs are going to give him the chance to hit off lefties. They say they are. I'm betting on that power. I like it. I mean, I'm getting pulled in, and I know it's a homer pick, but Jock Peterson's my man. I know it's a homer pick. I can't help it.
You're also not talking a lot tonight. I'm not used to this. Do you need to?
It's pretty nice. Every time I look at the camera, he's just like sitting in there, just like, I'm really enjoying this.
I'm enjoying these guys.
Front row seat.
He's just really excited to have fellow beards.
Oh my gosh,
true.
That's true.
In here with him.
Absolutely.
Feels like he's a part of that community, and that means something.
We're baby-faced podcast, so you guys are bringing some much-needed beard action to us here. Doc, let's go back to another baby face here. Why don't you tell me about somebody that we should be looking at?
Hey, man, us baby faces got to stick together. And this guy hasn't been doing anything really in spring training, and his ADP has been going down. But towards the end of the draft, I like Shogo Akiyama as a pick. He's now dropped from 400 to 423. His last 3 seasons in the Japanese league before coming to the MLB last year, he was a 320-ish hitter, averaging 22 homers, 70 RBIs, and 14 stolen bases. I mean, that is just a roto god. He only played in 54 games, and he had 7 stolen bases. So figure over an entire season, he's going to get you double-digit steals in that category. And Joey Votto's on the IL right now with COVID, so maybe they shift Moustakas to first. Maybe Senzel moves from center to second. But think about it, an injury to Senzel, I mean, he's had vertigo, he's had migraines. If they trade Castellanos, that opens up an everyday role for him. And I think this is a guy that hasn't even had 200 at-bats in the major leagues yet. He's 33 years old, so he's an accomplished hitter. I like taking a dart throw for where he's going.
I heard his name being mentioned a lot, like way back when, kind of towards when the season was ending, and I feel like it's kind of quieted down some. Bubba, Toby, are you guys kind of still with him? Because his name doesn't seem like it gets floated around anymore as it did before.
If I knew he was playing, I'd like him a lot. His OBP skills are really good. He's going to steal some bags. Like that last 2 to 3 weeks of last season, I guess almost last half of last season, he was actually very productive. And I think that's what got the buzz going. But then they just keep making moves there in Cincinnati, and it's frustrating. It seems like they want to make Jesse Winker play every day, which I want to happen. But you have Senzel who they want to play every day. You have Castellanos who you're not going to sit. There's no DH. The Reds are one of like a handful of teams that really need that DH, and that kind of puts a damper on Shogo. But if there is playing time, like Doc said, that does open things up for me at least.
Yeah, I like him as a kind of a stolen base streamer just because he generally hits at the top of the lineup when he does play. So if you have a set of righties, you can throw him in there. I think the problem with him in a longer term, like season long, is the power. I think he showed pretty much no power at all last year. And there's some power, as Doc mentioned in when he played in Japan. But even when you look at the underlying metrics, there's not a lot to get excited about there. So certainly possible, but for a longer term, I think it's tough to have a guy that hits single-digit home runs over the course of a full season in your lineup on a consistent basis. So if you could pair him maybe with a Bobby Dahlbach or something like that, that might be a really good combination there. You get the batting average, weighing each other back and forth, and finishing in the middle, and then you get a little bit of speed and a little bit of power. So I think that actually is an interesting way to think about it, especially if deeper benches where you can kind of play guys like that, or daily leagues where you can work that matchup. I think that might be a really intriguing thing to do, is just pairing him with more of a power bat in outfield.
I like that. And before we start talking about guys in the other direction, I have to ask good old Pancakes and good old Smalls here. I have to ask you guys, I've been screaming his name from the rooftops. I've been tempted to get his name tattooed on my chest.
Oh, I already know where you're going.
Dylan Cease. I need it from your guys' mouths. What do you expect from Dylan Cease this year? Because I have him going in the top 30 pitchers, starting pitchers this year. That's why I think he's going to finish.
Oh,
and I have my thoughts about him, but I'd like to hear what you guys think of him.
Toby's more of the pitching guru than me, so I'll hit him at the floor first. But all I have to say is that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, the thing is, there's one thing I like about it is it's a pitcher. And I think, we've seen that pitchers can go from being not very good to being very good if they have the right tools. And I don't think there's a doubt that Cease has that. He already has one of the fastest fastballs in all of baseball. Like, he had that last year. He had a devastating changeup throughout his minor league career, but it hasn't really played up like that in the majors. I mean, last year, I think what was the most disappointing thing is, the control was terrible, but like, he also just didn't have any pitches that really worked. But, I think there was a pretty clear path to improvement with the spin efficiency. I think it was pretty well documented. Saris mentioned it and others have mentioned it, like how he was cutting his fastball, which made it a lot less effective. So even though it had that velocity, it just didn't play up like it had that velocity. And apparently he worked on that. There's this video that I saw last night that was, it was Reynaldo Lopez working with their new hitting coach. I don't know if you guys saw that video.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's just like, you can just see, like, I was like, man, I want to be a pitcher for that guy, right? He's like calling me my nickname all the time, being super encouraging. They did the research about what he used to throw back with the Nationals. So you have to imagine with Cease, they're going to try to figure out a way and a plan to get him there. And it sounds like they already did that over the summer in terms of working on his spin efficiency and trying to improve in that respect. And so I think if he can address that, that not only helps the fastball, but it also helps the changeup be a better pitch for him as well. So I definitely, and I think he throws a slider too. Am I right there? Is it a slider? Is it a curveball? And so I definitely see the path to getting there. It's just so hard to know until it's going to be one of those things where you see him pitch those first couple times and it's either going to happen or it's not. And so I'm really intrigued to see what happened. And I see him as definitely a late round starting pitcher to target because I think the upside is huge, especially on that team and that division. It's really nice. So I can see what the excitement's are.
Yeah,
somebody's dog doesn't like Dylan Cease.
They agree. But when I kind of researched him, and I was going to probably do an article on him before the season starts, one of the things I'd found that he had started using that core velocity belt because it was helping him. He was having early trunk rotation problems. And that was one of the things that he had been working on this offseason. And he was working on increasing the vertical break on his four-seamer, which is another problem. It had dipped down to 14 to 15 inches basically in the last couple seasons. And this offseason, it's now back up to over 20. And then the other big thing, you obviously mentioned eliminating the cut on his fastball, but I thought just also working with Ethan Katz, who's now their new pitching coach. He was the guy that started working with Lucas Giolito and basically transformed him when he wasn't the pitching coach on the team, and Giolito didn't want to trust the guy they had. So I just felt like all that kind of combined. He had always just been good. Like you said, he had good velocity. He just walked a ton of guys, didn't have really much control. So if that cut is, that extra cut is kind of eliminated and he's able to keep that ball in the zone, I just felt like everything is there. He's got there's not one thing that's not there. And I feel like this is like one of those, maybe not Giolito like to a top 10 pitcher, but I was like, this could be that in-between step where you're like, oh man, he's going to be a star in 2 years, but this is the year he makes that breakout step type of deal.
Yeah, totally. I can totally see all of that for sure.
So then let's get negative. Let's go to the other side here. Let's talk about guys that we're not in on, even if they're rising, they're falling, whatever the case may be. Starting back off with Pancakes. Who's that guy?
Oh man, a guy that I just can't get into. Can I pass it on to Bubba? Can Bubba do this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bubba, I got you.
I get to go negative first.
I know how negative of a person you are, Bubba.
Oh, that's me.
At the essence of your being. So I thought you would want to start off this
I think we should change Toby's name back to the assassin one again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going through the list trying to think of negative ones to go off of. I guess one that I don't want to be mean to Toby, so I won't say that one.
No, do it.
Controversy. I love it.
I've said I was on 2 different shows yesterday. I said this name twice, and I said, "Oh, Toby doesn't listen." Don't draft Drew Smiley. Don't do it. Like
Look at that.
The hype is up, but like the fastball's up. That's great for 26 innings pitched. The dude has not stayed healthy for like any chunk of time. I'd rather take a chance on Dylan Cease than Drew Smiley. And Toby's going to come at me with all the stats. I know where he's coming from here. Just like mute his mic if you can, Mindy. That'd be great. But this is just setting up the stage for the game later. But yeah, Drew Smiley, I'm not going to take that chance on him. I'll take chances on a lot of other guys. Don't give me Drew Smiley. So I'm just going to keep it that simple before Toby just kind of really kills me.
I would never do that to you, Bubba. Other than Bubba being terribly wrong, I'm going to try to think of his favorite player, and then I'm going to include him in the How's that? No. I think for me, one guy who stands out, and again, this is kind of recency bias, and is Ahmed Rosario. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's every reason to like Ahmed Rosario, right? Like in 2019, he was going around pick 130, 140. The year before that, he was kind of a hype prospect. He never really was bad. He had a decent batting average both years, 15-15 both years. He has this awful 2020, and now he goes to Cleveland, and you think, wow, this guy, he's got an opportunity now, right? And instead, it's becoming the Andres Jimenez show, right? You got Jimenez, who's now, hitting at the top of that lineup. Again, it's early in spring training, so don't put too much stock in it. But I think what's a little bit more clear is that Rosario, they're starting to try him in the outfield. They're starting to move him around the diamond, so they see him more in like a super utility role. And so for me, he goes from a guy who, maybe had some upside as a late guy who provides batting average and stolen bases without destroying you in home runs, to a guy kind of without a position to go to, who's not clearly in the lineup every single day. And for where he's going in drafts, like around pick 250, 280, the cost isn't huge, but he falls into that group. There's a group of like 20 shortstops going in the mid 300s that all do pretty much the same thing, right? Like some of them hit for average. They all steal about 10 bases. They all hit like 10 to 15 home runs. And he's just kind of one of those guys now. And so for me, he's somebody who I had an opportunity. I had a need for batting average and for speed in my TGFBI draft. And I just couldn't find myself getting him, even when he fell, beyond his ADP. And so I think for me, that's kind of when I reassess a player and I say, I wanted to really like this guy, but I'm not sure I can get there unless I see something very different between now and the end of spring training, because he is in a position battle and it looks like he's losing that pretty handily. So that's one guy who's going down. Bubba, did you like Ahmed Rosario?
No, not this year. We're good. So that's a great pick by you.
You think there's any chance that Ahmed Rosario does not start the year with the team, that he goes down?
They'd love to trade him. They'd love to if they could. He won't go down. The thing is, this spring is because Jimenez is playing so well. Rosario's played like half his games in the outfield, so they're trying to flex him around.
Do you think if they put him out there and he has more positional flexibility, that would increase the enticement to get him for you, or is it still no matter even if he has that, I still don't want to touch him?
I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm still just a little iffy because the challenge is, especially I generally play NFBC, so I'm looking at seven bench slots, and if a guy's playing 4 out of 7 games, if he's playing consistently in the outfield, I think there's certainly a place for him in a lineup. I'm just starting to question whether that is going to be the case, even though they have like the worst, before Eddie the Fire Eagle Rosario, they had like the worst outfield, Like it's not a competitive outfield. If you think about it, Rosario is pretty much the same thing as Oscar Mercado, but I'm assuming that Mercado is probably going to be a better outfielder defensively than Rosario is. And so why stunt his development when you have major questions about
Let me clarify. He's comparing Ahmed Rosario to Oscar Mercado, not Eddie Rosario. So let me clarify that real quick. At first I had to take a step back. I was like, whoa, Toby.
Too many Rosario.
Well, I sent that question in, and then when I was like, God, they must think I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and I was like, no, not that guy.
No, not Eddie Rosario. Not Eddie Rosario. Oh, of course not. Eddie Rosario he talked about a guy whose ADP is going up. In the last little bit, he's got to be up like 30 spots or so since he signed with Cleveland. So
then, all right. So Bubba, Beth, I want to do a little name game really quick. Ahmed Rosario or this guy? So just give me the name. Ahmed or Elvis?
I'll go Elvis because he's going to start every day for Oakland and you get late round steals. It stinks he's at the bottom of the order, but I'll go Elvis.
Are you going Elvis as well, Toby?
Oh, yeah. Pancakes is going Elvis.
No, you guys aren't supposed to agree.
Are we saving that for later?
These are all guys going around the similar ADP according to Smada's TGFBI ADP. So just kind of the most recent draft kind of to look at where they're going here. IKF. And Ahmed Rosario.
I'll go first. This is actually a very difficult one for me, but I have a lot more shares of Isaiah Falefa than I do Ahmed Rosario. And the one thing that's really nice about Falefa is that what is it?
Look at Bubba's name on the screen.
Jakey Smalls. How do I do that?
Click on your name on the little in the corner thing.
Can I add an emoji in there? I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. While Bubba's answering the question, I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Have a $ for the pancakes.
I'm gonna take while he's doing that. I'm taking Ahmed Rosario in that scenario, but it's not an easy one. Like IKF's gonna play every day, which is great. He might get shortstop eligibility to go with third base eligibility, so you get the whole infield wrapped up. It's a close one. It's really, really close. I'd rather neither, but I think I'll go Ahmed in that situation, but it's not great.
He's shortstop eligible in TGFBI.
Oh, already? Then
yeah, he is.
That's interesting then.
That's what I was going to say is, he's fantastic on your bench because he gets you speed. He gets you a decent batting average. He's going to hit at the top of that lineup. He's not a 0 in home runs, but he's pretty much a 0 in home runs. But that's a really nice bench spot to have because if anybody gets injured on the infield, you can move guys around to put him in corner infield, middle infield slot.
And he'll steal bases.
That's why I go him. Yeah, he
will
steal bases for sure.
So it depends. Maybe I will go IKF. That's a really close one.
All right, I'll do one more.
Are you saying that you changed your opinion, Bubba, based on what I had to say there? Is that what happened?
Sure, that's what it was, yes.
The last one here, let's do Joey Wendell. He's the next qualified shortstop going after him.
I love Wendell. I might have an irrational love of Wendell. I have him in a lot of best balls and stuff super late because of his position flexibility. He's all over the diamond, especially on like NFBC formats. I'm a big fan of his. His glove is so good, it keeps him in the Rays lineup unlike other players. And that's a big factor to me. Like we saw in the postseason, he can hit for average, a little bit of pop, but he runs when he's on base. I like Joey Wendell, so that's easy for me. Maybe not somebody else.
Are you on the Joey Wendell train too? Toby Pancakes now with the name up there too?
Absolutely not.
Oh, what a tease.
I'm just kidding.
Go.
No. I just think that the problem with Wendell is he's a platoon guy. He only hits against right-handers. He doesn't really hit for power. He steals some bases, but not that many bases. And it's really difficult for me to have a guy like that he's not in my starting lineup because he's not playing every day. And even when he's on the bench, I don't know how often he's going to play depending on what the matchups are.
Is playing in 50 of 62 games considered a platoon?
I mean, how many of those games did he start?
You said he played. Let me find out. Let me keep talking. Right. I'll look.
I had him on my teams last year on my bench because I was chasing speed.
He started almost all of these. He has 3 or more at bats, and let's see, 1, 2. So the 10 minus 2. So he started in 48 of them.
48. Okay. 48 divided by 60 is
It's pretty good.
whatever it is.
0.8. Is that 0.8?
80% of games.
That's 80% of games. I just did the math, and that actually is a platoon. Yeah. That's the threshold for a platoon. 0.81 games.
I'd hate for Toby to be my teacher. Setting the curve at 80%, guys. That is like a rough world to live in right there.
Hey, Rays fans who are watching this in the chat, please let me know if he was a platoon.
This is when the assassin in Toby's coming out.
Yes.
Toby would be the teacher.
I'm only doing this because it's Bubba. I know.
So we're having fun here.
I feel like Toby would be the teacher where you have an 89.4 and you're like, yeah, can you bump me up to an A? Nope. And
it's not a B plus, it's a B. There's no
It
plus.
is a B,
No, it's a B.
I'm like, oh, you want to be bumped up to a B plus? Where does it stop? 89.3, 89.2? Like, where do I draw the line?
Oh my God, that's great. Cheesecake, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing real well. I'm getting ready for my to drop a bomb on Jared Kalenic going in the top 200. That's my next thought right now.
What a lead up. Go ahead. Take it away. I would love to hear it.
So, I mean, Jared, well, per day, but he's still going in the top 200. He's still going to go pretty high. Now you're going to the top 200. He's going about the same place as a guy like Kyle Schwarber. He's going about the same place as a guy like AJ Pollock. And here's my problem with Jared Kalenic is that he could hit like 15 home runs and 95 runs plus RB this year. That would
He's a robot. So I know
me,
he's out.
You know, there's all this hype in him. Are you losing me?
Yeah.
There's all this hype on him. Yeah. This is the problem of being in a dungeon. That's what happens when you're in a dungeon. I've been having trouble. I've been having trouble all night with my Fakakata. But yeah, I'm not going that high. If you want to take a lottery ticket, I think Alex Kirilloff is a much better lottery ticket to take, and that's like 50 picks after Jared Kalenic.
No, I like that. I mean, Alex Kirilloff is also going to have a starting job every day from day one. You don't know if, again, even if Kalenic comes back healthy, he's going to need some time maybe to at the alternate site to get some swings in. So I think that's a fair assessment, a good call there. Doc, let's go to you next. Go ahead. Cheesecake, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, and like, there's no guarantee that he's going to come back from his injury and they're not going to go, you know what, he's recovering. He's going to send him back down to AAA for a while. And he's like a super 2 guy coming up in June or something like that.
No,
200 pick on something like that.
Okay, just making sure you were done.
Save that bandwidth for the game. Jeez, save that bandwidth for the game.
Go ahead, Doc.
I'm gonna press mute again.
Yeah, I can't get behind Mark Melancon, especially when his ADP is jumping from 245 to 218. He's going to be 36 years old when the season starts. His whip the last 4 years, 1.43, 1.39, 1.32, and 1.28. So it's been getting better, but it's still not good, especially when you're in the closer role. Emilio Pagan last year had, and Melancon's expected ERA has been higher than his actual ERA those past 4 years as well. So you consider him pretty lucky. Emilio Pagan had a 1.04 whip last year and 2 saves. Drew Pomeranz, 4 saves and a 1.01 whip. I think there's going to be a lot of save opportunities to go around. I don't think it's Melancon's job. I'm waiting for you to say something rude, David.
No. I just was getting my soundboard ready. I haven't had it up yet. So
okay.
Keep going.
I just don't think Melancon's going to be the guy for the entire year, whether they have it as a committee because there's a lot of save opportunities or just because he's not that steady Eddie closer that everybody thinks he's going to be.
Fair enough. The Padres have a bullpen it's hard to predict who the closer is at this point.
Like in a situation like that, and I've been taking Pagan and Pomeranz at the end of my drafts because that's much better value. And, I know I said it earlier in the episode, this is kind of like a fantasy football term, but like a handcuff. The closer,
that's a term in fantasy baseball I don't think everybody likes, though.
It's fair, but yes, I know where you're going with that.
But like I took Pagan in like the 28th round of our TGFBI draft, and it's like if Melanson loses the job or if he gets hurt or Pagan looks really well to begin the year, then you're getting a really good source of saves at the end of your draft where you're kind of just doing dart throws anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. I won't boo you for that one. You can.
Thank you.
Let's do one more player and then we'll move on to the question of the week. So let's go back to pancakes at the bottom of the screen. Is there one more guy that you should let our audience know they should stray away from drafting at their current price?
Do I do it, Bubba? Do I drop the name?
Do it.
Do it.
Vlad Jr., guys.
My heart.
Vlad Jr. Anybody who's listened to me talk before knows, I mean, I am just looking forward to eating crow at the end of the year. Just like people are going to be like, hey, how does that Vladdy MVP look on your mantle, you know? But I really have a difficult time seeing him where he's going right now, how he gets there. You're assuming a dramatic increase in batting average. It's not going to get you any steals. So you're also assuming a dramatic increase in the power numbers. He actually doesn't have a power skill set from what I can see. His flying drive and fly ball exit velocity is middle of the road. He doesn't have an extremely high home run per fly ball rate. So while elevating the ball more, which he needs to do because his ground ball rate is over 50%, would be helpful. I think it's also not going to help his batting average at all either, because maybe he hits more home runs, but he's also going to hit a lot more fly balls that get caught as outs. I mean, it's tough to have warning track power, but he does have that. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't really have warning track power.
Toby, can I just say, I love that you're putting on your stamp of Vlad Jr. haterism. Like you're like, you know what? I'll eat crow if I'm wrong. Like I'm doing the same with Kyle Tucker, and I've caught a lot of heat for it. But like you're putting your stamp down, and you're saying I can't get behind this, no matter where his ADP is, unless like he drastically falls. But I respect that.
Thank you, Doc. I respect you too, even though I like Kyle Tucker. I still respect you for that.
I'll eat crow if I'm wrong on Kyle Tucker.
I mean, the thing for me is I try to look at players and I try to figure out what is the road to success for this player, right? You know, and I don't see the raw skills. I know it sounds absolutely bizarre to say with Vlad, right? Generational talent, but I don't see the raw skills there at this moment in time for him to take the type of jump that he needs to take. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get around what his ADP is. If he plays every single game and he ends up hitting in the Blue Jays lineup and he goes 275, 30 home runs, 100 RBI, 85 runs or something like that, it's a fine pick, right? But I just don't see the upside that I think you can see in some of the guys that are going around that spot in drafts, whether they be hitters or pitchers. So that is a guy that I would caution people to buy in on. And I do think the Blue Jays should trade him right now.
Well, so it's interesting. All right. So you have Jose Abreu going around pick 48. And again, this is TGFBI ADP.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jose Abreu going around pick 48. You have Vlad going around pick 55. And then you have Pete Alonso going right after him around pick 58. So just as according to the average ADP. So that Vlad and Pete are back to back. Jose Abreu is just a couple guys above them. Out of that three, put them in order how you would draft them.
Abreu, Alonso, Vlad Jr.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's really.
But my response would be I would not draft any of them. I would rather have Goldie at like pick 100. I'd rather have Josh Bell at pick 150. I'd rather have Yuli Gurriel at pick 240, 250. There's a lot more.
CJ Cron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh,
we did talk about all those values at the end of first base. So I agree. If you don't believe in these guys, you can wait and you can still get guys you want. Keiki, who's the last guy you want to talk about here that everybody should be avoiding?
He wears blue and white, and he's got a carrot top head. His name is Dustin May. Do not draft. No, wrong guy. Do not draft Dustin May. I can't stand this guy. He's so much fun to watch when he gets gift by Alex Fast. Awesome. But when it comes to fantasy, where's he going to start in the rotation? Probably not. He'll have like a couple of weeks where he starts because it's the Dodgers, but that's about it. But more importantly, you want strikeouts for your fantasy team. Sub 20% K rate. He had a 12.5% K to walk rate last year. You go, oh, that was 1 year. Okay. He had 19.1% the year before. Still not ideal. Year before that, 13.2%. The dude walks a lot of guys. Well, not a lot, but walks too many and doesn't strike many at all. He had an 8.4% swinging strike rate. He's fun to watch. Lots of movement on his pitches, but it's not great. And if you look at the X stats, you kind of got a little lucky. A 217 average, but a 254 X batting average. The slugging rates, the actual bacons. He had a 21.7% home run to fly ball. Like, it was one of those deals. He looked great. It looked fun, but it wasn't all like roses when it came to Dustin May. So you're not going to get a lot of innings. He's not going to start a lot of games, and he's not striking guys out. Until he does that, I want nothing to do with Dustin May. I honestly do not understand the hype train. If you want to take a chance on a Dodgers pitcher that might be short on innings, okay, go get Tony Gonsolin. That's fine. He's better than Dustin May and not even close in my book. But the hype on Dustin May, I don't understand. Do not draft Dustin May. I just can't. If you come with me a question, should I draft Dustin May or so-and-so? Just when I don't answer, just draft so-and-so. It's that much easier. Okay. Sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but just don't draft Dustin May.
No, I agree.
Should I draft Dustin May or Framber Valdez?
You mother.
Let me just say, I felt so bad for you, and I can relate because I drafted Britton, albeit 15.
You're comparing drafting Zach Britton in the 20 whatever round.
No, but it's the feeling. It's the feeling of drafting someone, and then you see the news, and to the best gift on Bubba best gift that Bubba put, the Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. And then someone asked me a question and I put a GIF. I'm just going to go cry in the corner now. Like, that's all I can do is like make the pick. I'm all excited. I told the story with Toby and stuff. I watched the outing the night before. Looks good. No big deal. Make the pick. Go to a meeting where I have a breakfast burrito, living life, come back out to my phone. And yeah. So lots of fun. And the worst thing is even the beat reporter tweeted out yesterday on Wednesday. It's been 7 days since they said he might have surgery, but the wait for a second opinion. And there has been no reports in 7 days on what the heck they're doing with Framber Valdez, which means to me his fingers probably chopped off by now in some Tijuana place. I don't know, because like he's just done. It's over.
I've never understood the hype on Framber Valdez at all. I'm not sure why you drafted him to begin with. I'm just kidding. I like Framber Valdez. I like Framber. Know what I'm thinking about doing though, honestly, is taking him in the 30th round of my TGFBI, just because we haven't heard anything, right?
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything for a week.
Back and
what if they come back and they say, you want to know something? Whatever happened, like we did an imaging and we got a second opinion, because that's the last I saw was Ken Rosenthal reports he's going to miss the season. Houston's looking at a second opinion. Let's say he's only got out for a month. Yeah. I mean, What if keep him?
Tony Stark got a hold of him, so it's been quiet, and he's got some special chamber, and you never know.
The Astros are good at keeping secrets.
Yes, definitely. Maybe they're banging. They're seeing if he can bang on a trash can. Otherwise, he's going the IL. It's very simple.
I was selfishly mad that our draft was so slow that the news came out before he was drafted. He's just been sitting there.
He's sitting at the top of the draft board, just waiting for somebody to forget.
Wait for someone for auto pick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oops.
Oh man. Cheesecake, why don't you give us your last guy here?
And he's gone.
It's a great picture though. It's a great picture up in the corner right there. It's like
he's so happy. He's so happy.
Oh my God.
You're back. You're back, I think.
Sort of. This happens every time Toby and I tag team a StreamYard.
I'm here.
I'll let Cheesecake.
I'm ready for. I'm keeping my quiver for the. I'm saving my arrows for the game, I guess.
All right, skip him. Save the bandwidth.
Okay, go ahead. Wrap it up, Doc.
All right, so for me, and this is a guy strictly in season long that I can't get behind. Obviously, in Dynasty, he's a great asset, but that's Mackenzie Gore. His ADP has gone from 374 to 351. I mean, I think the Padres already have their 5-man rotation figured out with Snell, Darvish, Musgrove, Dinelson Lamet, Chris Paddock. He's fighting with Adrian Morejon and Ryan Weathers to potentially being called up. And I think the Padres are going to be in a good position early in the year. Obviously, they're one of the favorites to come out of the NL. So I don't think there's going to be a rush to bring him up. And once again, it's a 162-game season. We talk about manipulating service time so they can get an extra year under control. Once again, I think he's a great dynasty asset to have, but he's somebody that I don't feel comfortable taking. I mean, Bubba, I don't think he was even taken in our draft, right?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so. And it's one of those, like, people are smart enough to realize, like, what's he – yeah, his talent's great, but what's he doing for your team right now? Like, he's just wasting a spot for the time being.
Yeah, and I mean, there's 30 rounds. There's 450 picks, and he's rated 351, and he didn't go 100 picks past where his ADP was. I just think that kind of shows you're drafting with some knowledgeable people. They're not going to reach and take him.
Definitely.
Oh, that's trippy. I don't know. Yep. Put that on. There we go.
Cheesecake's messing with things over there. Watch out.
Yeah, he is the technician.
Toby Pancakey.
Me and Bubba are related.
Come back.
Oh man, I think this is a perfect transition for us to get into away from a little bit of baseball talk. We like to have some fun on this show if it hasn't been fun already, and let's dive into the question of the week.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Now, I hope, does everybody on this panel know why I played that song just now?
Because we're getting rickrolled.
No. Did you? Bubba got it.
Yep.
That treat that we got to see on Twitter today of Alex Fast singing.
It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I think I watched it 20 times. It was just.
Was it every time Matt Boyd strikes someone out or something? What was the comment they put on top of it? It was good though. Yeah.
It was like, I think they said his new look slider or something.
Yeah.
His slider, whatever it was. Yeah.
Pitcher list got my vote today because of that.
There you go. I mean,
who won?
It should be over in another 20 minutes or so, right? No, I don't know.
Who's winning?
I'll give you a live update.
Is it rates and barrels? Are they winning?
They were winning when I checked like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
They are. Pitcher list is winning. Pitcher list got a boom.
What are they?
They're up 56% to 44.
Oh, they're
wow.
48 minutes left, and there's 3,100 votes.
They've created such a
monster,
fantastic following. You know, people love Pitcher List for a good reason. I mean, it's just incredibly impressive what those guys have been able to put together there. They have a great community.
You know what? Pitcher List is like the Bubba of games. They're going to come in and win the tournament twice in a row. Somebody's got to take them down the third.
Well, no,
we
but the thing
is,
just
smile and everybody loves us, and we just walk in and.
But the thing is, they're good. If they win, they'll go out on top because I think after this year, they're doing the separate pitcherless pods. They're not doing.
Yeah.
No, we need to take them down.
They'll go out 2-0 and just.
Great. Now they're just gonna. The final four is going to be all 4 pitcherless podcasts because they're all going to support each other, right?
I think we should just do a bunch of team ups. Be like Batflip and Bubba, Batflip and Bubba's triple play or something.
Yeah, we tried to do that this year, you know?
So our question this week, who is the pitcher that comes to mind for whatever they came in the game, you just knew they were going to get tattooed. They're going to give up runs. They were your favorite team. You just turned the TV off because you didn't want them in the game with a lead. Any pitcher of all time, it could be current or former, just that pitcher you knew, like, they're giving up runs whenever they come in. Pancakes, start with you first. If you're thinking, we can go to Cakey Smalls first.
I'm always thinking. Well, I'm not going to go I'm not going to go with a historical one right here. I'm going to go with the first one that came into my mind when I thought about giving up earned runs in bunches. And that's Nick Pivetta.
Ooh.
Nick Pivetta is what came to mind because I went through this phase in, I think, 2018 where I was like tracking every single one of his starts. And I was always like, how many fastballs is he going to throw compared to his slider and his other things? And all that I remember from it is just like at a certain point in the season, I just stopped keeping track because he was giving up so many runs, you know? And then like everybody was into him and I wasn't into him that year. And that felt pretty good, but he just continued to give up just a ton of runs. So I'm not trying to be mean to him, but he's kind of the pitcher that first came to mind when I thought of a guy who just gives up runs in bunches, was kind of Nick Pivetta. I should probably have a better like bullpen guy that like would come in and you're just like, oh, please don't do this. No.
It's bad though. He's bad. It's like everybody gets sucked in when they see changes that he's made, like adding a new pitch or whatever the case is. But he's still always so bad. I
know it's really tough. So that's the guy that you said first came to mind, and that's the one that first came to mind for me. So I'm going to stick with Nick Pivetta, even though he's young and he still has a chance to turn it around.
It's a great way to kick it off. Keiki Smalls, who are you going with?
Yeah, mine, it's kind of ironic because he eventually helped win a World Series. I met him in a coffee shop in San Francisco, but he also helped invent the name, the phrase torture on the on the Giants games. And he's the bearded one named Brian Wilson. When he came in, like Romo is what people think about, but his was just a hanging slider. Brian Wilson had a knack to either give up runs or load a base or do something. It was never a 1-2-3 inning, or never felt like a 1-2-3 inning. It was like full counts to every batter. It was just pure stress every time he was on the mound, and then it felt like his buttons are unbuttoning because he's just getting more angry out there. And he'd get the job done. He'd turn around, he'd X to the sky, he'd do his thing. But it was some of the more stressful innings as a Giants fan, especially when we're actually winning for once. It was that's why they called it torture. So Brian Wilson might not have had like the biggest run give up situation, but it was always stressful.
I was gonna say this kind of ties into a stressful question, so I think it fits very well. And it's funny because as non-Giants fans, you see all the saves that he was accumulating, and you were just like, "Oh, he's an all-star, lockdown closer." From I can see
nothing lockdown about that at all.
No, I love that. That's a great one. Cheesecake, who's your pick?
I feel I've kind of a similar one. Carlos Marmol would walk the bases loaded every time he came into a game. He was the most stressful relief pitcher, and he was the relief pitcher that everyone said, "Oh, we gotta let Marmol become the closer." Then he becomes the closer, and every time he's out there, he's 2 inches off the edge, throwing the slider right in the dirt, and you're like 3-0. Oh my God, he's gonna walk this guy. He walks the next guy. He gets the bases loaded, and then he strikes out 2 guys. You're on the edge of your seat every pitch with him. Marmol was the most stressful closer I've ever had in my Cubs fanhood.
That's a good one. I remember that one quite well. That's a very good one.
Yeah, I remember him. Isn't there a rule named after him? Like the Carlos Marmol strategy.
It's a strategy.
There's a strategy. The Marmol strategy. Yeah.
Because he also struck out 18 guys per night.
Yeah.
He's like the Bobby Dahlbach of pitchers. It was either a strikeout or a home run.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. I actually was very familiar with how stressful he was, unlike Brian Wilson. I do remember hearing about that a little bit more. Doc,
the worst.
Who's your choice?
So this is a throwback name, Miguel Batista.
Ooh,
the man had a 1.5 ERA for his career. He had a career 5.8 strikeouts per 9. So he's not getting people out via his strikeout. He's pitching to a lot of contact. And he's walking a lot of people. I remember, I'd make bets or I'd, follow MLB and I'd be like, okay, Miguel Batista's in. It's anything but a 1-2-3 inning. And usually there were multiple runs associated anytime he came out.
That's a good one. I remember his name as well. I'm going to give you guys a real throwback name. And this is because I'm a Twins fan. So this is the guy I think more than when I thought of this question, it was because of this guy. Do you guys remember the name Juan Rincon?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he a lefty?
Yeah.
He was, every time he came in the game, he gave up runs. And every time I said, there has to be a better 8th inning guy to get to Joe Nathan than Juan Rincon.
Yes.
And it would happen. We'd have like a 5-4 lead, and then you'd just be happy that he left it a tie game. Like that was the pain of Juan Rincon.
I remember growing up with David. I would always hear this because he's been a Twins fan since like 2005. Why is Rincon coming in the game? Put in Pat Neshek, put in Eddie Guardado, anybody but him.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Beautiful.
He's the origin of this question. So, but those are all great answers, and I love just hearing names that you didn't think of before. Even
obscure relief pitchers besides Pivetta, who might be one.
Yeah, we'll soon get to be a relief pitcher. I can't believe none of us said Fernando Rodney.
He was on my list. I
was thinking about it. He's been too accomplished though. I feel like the disrespect.
He really has been.
I almost enjoy him more, like the tilted hat that I don't give a crap. I bow and arrows. Like you expect the circus out there.
I mean, he was involved in a Chris Paddock trade, so I feel like we have to respect him a little bit.
He Armando Benitez too. When you were talking about
Yes.
Miguel Batista, I was thinking about Armando Benitez. Like, oh man, I remember him. He used to get in there, and you're just like, God knows what's gonna happen now.
Back to Rodney and Paddock. Who has more pitches, Paddock or Rodney? I think Rodney has more pitches
Oh,
than Paddock does.
Dang.
That's cold.
Yeah, it just shows you where I still stand on Paddock.
So cool. All right. Well, we're here at that part of the night now. It's that time.
God.
We have to get to it. We're going to get to our game of the week. If my drop, I have the perfect drop for you guys.
Technical issues abound today.
It disappeared on me.
Stretch it out.
So, dang it, it disappeared on me. So anyway, I'm gonna explain how the game goes. So how this works, the community here listened, okay? All right, just
Yeah,
for you
but
guys.
don't make this so competitive. All right.
Yeah, I can't play Monopoly in my house anymore, so you guys are in trouble.
So this has been in the makings for a long time. I remember on a B&B episode, you guys said you wanted to go head-to-head in a duel. And the Gaming Commission heard. And I didn't want to give anyone an advantage in this game. If we got too statistical, it'd be in Toby's wheelhouse. If we got into history, we'd be more into Art and Bubba's wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's nothing, it's in Doc's wheelhouse.
Hey!
So
I'm good with walk-up music, okay?
yeah, you
Pick
go.
a number between 1 and 4.
Am I thinking of a number right now, Doc?
No.
So we decided we have an undefeated record on the line for the chance to be, and then we also have
who's got the
chance-
undefeated record by chance?
Yeah.
I'm just
And
asking.
then we also have a guy here that if he loses would be the first guest under 500 if it's been on multiple shows. So, and then we've got the gentleman just trying to get pride up top. So
This just got
Yep.
so much sweeter.
Oh man, this is brutal. I'm already losing.
I'm playing with house.
We
I'm
already
playing with
have to
house
play
money.
the game.
There's-
Mentally, I'm in shambles.
I'm
I
in your
can't
head.
handle this, Gregory.
So the game we're gonna play, a very wild card game, is called Who Dat. I've got 10 retired guys tying into the question of the week. I'm gonna flash the picture of them on the screen. They haven't been retired like super long. It's been within the last like 10 years or so. All right. And I'm gonna flash their name on the screen. Each of you I have a DM opened with. So if you guys want to open your Twitter DMs, this is how you're gonna send me your answer.
Okay, I was
David,
wondering how we're gonna do
you are great. You are great. Let me
I
just
tried
this
to
is
make sure
well
just for
done.
you guys.
This is
So
well
you're-
done.
Yeah, so your Twitter DM, you're gonna DM me your answer, and then once everybody submits their answers, I'm gonna read them out loud, so that way no one can cheat off someone else's.
I
All
like
right.
it.
I'm not seeing the DM though,
No, you have to go
Wait.
to your Twitter and look him up.
and I have to send you the DM.
Yeah, send me the DM.
you have to be the slider in the DM.
I
I
have
just
all
wanna say-
4 tabs
I
open
just-
with DMs for you guys. So,
I just want to say I have very poor eyesight before we get started.
so you get 1 point if you can tell me the name, and then you can get a bonus point if you can tell me the last team that they played for, and that means not just like they got an invite to spring train; they actually either got an at bat or they threw to a batter. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is good.
Bubba's gonna crush me.
This is
Ah.
good.
Sorry.
There's some name. I will be shocked. There's some names that are gimmies on here, so no one's gonna leave with an offer. Okay, but we're gonna start with the first guy. I've got 5 pitchers and 5 hitters. All right, so number 1. And this is a good time to plug. If you were listening to the podcast version, you can watch this on our YouTube channel. And so you can pause it and play along with us. And if you're watching live, you can answer in the comments.
DM sent, David.
Yeah, let me know when you lock in.
Well, I'm already down 0-1, so that's good.
Don't worry, Bubba. We're tied. Oh God, I never.
Looks familiar. Looks familiar, but I'm like,
Sorry, Dave. I'm like,
holy crap.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to use
Just to
my
let you know,
desktop.
just so you know,
I don't know how to use my desktop here.
we did this game.
I'm going to do it on my Twitter.
Otherwise, we could do a gentleman's agreement, and we'll just say that Toby goes first every time, so that way he can't hear.
That's fine too.
No, I can get it. I just don't. My desktop is not updating.
Yeah, then Toby, you'll go first after the other three lock their answers in.
I already know I'm wrong, but it's like, what the hell is his name?
You guys definitely know this guy once
I know he looks very, very familiar, and you're going to say the name is going to tick me off. He's not a pitcher either, and I gave you a pitcher.
No, he is a pitcher. He's a pitcher.
Okay, that makes you feel a little better.
Son of.
Oh, you just gave away a clue.
Come on, let's end this. It's like 3 minutes per.
I put what I was going to put. I put what I was going to put, which is wrong.
Okay. All right. So everybody's got their answers locked in. So the correct answer is the Dragon Slayer, Josh Fogg.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never would have got that.
I know who that is.
You know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
There's a trick part as far as the team, because his last team was the Colorado Rockies, who I flashed on screen. So Eric guessed Josh Fogg, but guessed Red, so he has one. And you guys might have to keep track of your own score because there's a lot of moving parts here.
David, do I get a bonus point because I did put Dragon Slayer?
No.
Okay.
So Cheesecake did say Rocky, so you get the point for the team, but you didn't get. But you didn't get.
Should have done that just to try.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about that.
So
I guess Chris Iannetta.
So that is incorrect.
Not bad. He's got hair.
Ooh, I think that's a solid.
He's got hair.
Turk Wendell, New York Mets from Kiki Smalls, and then Jeff Francoeur, Royals.
That's a beefy Jeff Francoeur right there.
I know. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
All right, wait. Can we end the game now?
We've got the underdogs up top, each with one. All right, number two.
Man.
This one is to get everybody's confidence back up. At least you'll get the name. Number two.
Oh my God.
Come on, guys. You have to know this guy.
Answer locked in.
I don't watch baseball games.
I'll tell you who it looks like. It looks like somebody, and I'm putting that name in.
I probably got it wrong again, but God, he looks so familiar. Oh no! I got it wrong.
You can if you want to change it before I announce it, you can.
Oh, I just know it's wrong because I'm not going to say it anymore. But
David,
it's the tip of my tongue.
Come on, give like a minute clock.
Oh, someone's anxious to try to take them down.
I just shipped it in. I didn't even put a name of a person.
We locked in. I know I got it wrong.
I'm locked in.
Fielder. All right, so Toby's not even giving a name.
I'm going to get destroyed for not watching baseball games for like 8 years of my life.
So the correct answer is Jamie Carroll.
Yeah.
And the last team he played for was the Kansas City Royals in 2013. Wow. So we had Toby guess Twins.
That was the name of the person.
We had Kiki Smalls guess Alex Avila in Arizona.
Yeah, no.
We had Cheesecake guess Dante Bichette in the Astros.
He looks like Dante Bichette to me.
A skinny one, yeah. When did he ever play for the Astros?
I don't know. I was like, where did he end his career? He might have played with the Astros. I don't know.
Sounds good. I respect it.
Good.
And then we had Doc with Jamie Carroll for the Dodgers.
I'm telling you, I found my niche, baby.
So
that's the game.
We're coming. I'm not giving up on this one. We got.
When Doc wins the game, we know it's flawed. That's all I have to say.
So we did this for football version with Adam Rank from the NFL Network, and I got like all 5 right. I guess I'm good with remembering.
But you're not as good with baseball.
You remember men's faces.
Yeah, I'm 2 for 2, David. So I don't know. Don't say I'm not as good.
Well, you've got 2. Cheesecake's got 1, and then they both got 0. But it's very much within striking distance.
Bubba,
we got this. It's early.
What if we both lose?
We're going to. It looks like, because Doc just sits there and stares at guys' faces. So we're good.
Hey, I'm in front of a computer all day. What else do I got to time to do?
Man, we found your game. All right, number 3.
I know
he's a hitter. He was a hitter.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Locked in.
I am just like blanking on names. He played the middle infield.
I don't know who he last played.
Locked in.
Oh, this is the first one Cheesecake was confident in.
I'm pretty confident.
I'm so ticked at myself because I know exactly what position he played too, and I can't think of his frickin' name. It's not Brady Anderson, Toby. Crap.
Can I change my guess?
Yeah, as long as I haven't said it yet, you can just type a new one in.
Turn off your comments. We got people giving answers.
Yeah, I miss this too.
Oh, we can't see the comments. We can.
Yeah, we can't see them.
Okay.
Yeah, but shame on those people. Probably the same person who said that Vlad Jr. was just one change away from being a first round pick.
It is the same person.
He's doing well though with the game.
I know. I'm just teasing. I got nothing but love for everybody.
I'm so mad at this. I'm locked in. Like I'm just screwed. So go for it.
All right, so go to Pancakes first.
Yeah,
he has Brian Roberts and the
That's
Yankees.
correct. Brian Roberts. Yeah,
and those are correct on both fronts. He plays last year with the Yankees.
Toby.
I nailed both of them
on the board. The last.
Is that the first time somebody's gotten both right?
Yeah, so far.
Oh wow!
All right, so he's in this game.
Yeah, I got nothing. You can skip me. You can skip me. I knew he was a second baseman. And I couldn't put my freaking. I'm like, it's the second baseman. Yeah.
Oh, so Bubba just gets Baltimore. So that's an offer for that one.
Yep.
Cheesecake, Brian Roberts, Yankees. Got it. Eric said Brian Roberts, Dodgers.
Ooh, so Cheesecake is in the lead?
Yeah, so Cheesecake is 3.
Oh, Doc's 3.
Doc is 3.
Toby's 2.
got 2.
I have 0.
Oh man, but this
you
is
you guys figured it out.
Bubba, don't get nervous. You only got 7 more.
I'm not. I'll still have a 2-1 record. That's fine with me.
All right, number 4. I hope you guys know this guy. I'm pretty sure you do.
Oh, I know his name. This is kill. I can't think of names. I can blank on everything. I've seen him pitch. Oh, I know. I got it. Now, where did he finish his career?
The team might be a little harder.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Name?
I'm locked in.
First name count?
No, that does not count.
Toby, he's ugly. That's your hint.
I know it. I don't know the last name, but
I think the last name's easier than the first name.
The reason that Doc is good as this, because Doc picks up players on the waiver wire based upon their pictures. He picked up.
That was
Max
a nice
Fried.
way to say it.
He picked up Max Fried. He said the guy looks like he could pitch well, based on his picture, and he was right. I don't understand. It's a weird talent he has.
You know what? You just got to roll with whatever feels right.
That's right.
Okay, Rogan, you can still comment. We want you to play. I just trust that these gentlemen
we
aren't going to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna change my answers.
I'm not looking at I got the private chat up, so I can't even see the comments.
Okay. So is everybody locked in?
I'm in.
Bet it's B. Krogman, not B.
I got at least 1 point. I got at least 1 point finally. Thank God.
Okay, so the correct answer is Aaron Harang.
Yep.
And his last team he pitched for was the Philadelphia Phillies in 2015. So we
got 1 point.
We had Toby Pancakes say Eric Bubba sucks. That deserves points.
I got 3 of the 4. I got 3 of the 4. No, actually, he's 8.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we had Bubba say Aaron Harang, Oakland. So we get Kiki Smalls gets a point for that one. We have Cheesecake saying Aaron Harang, Padres. So he gets a point.
That's what I said.
And then we have Doc saying Aaron Harang, Padres. So Doc gets
they got 4 points each up there. They're rolling.
4 to 2 to 1.
I'm embarrassed that I know what all these players look like.
You can start messing them on purpose if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
This next one is probably the hardest one.
Oh no,
it's the one Toby will get.
He's a pitcher.
Yeah,
or was a pitcher. I didn't realize this one would awkwardly take up the whole screen.
Oh gosh. Is this a mirror image, or can we tell he throws left-handed?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
Look at the logo. He's a lefty.
Yeah.
I'm locked in. I know the player.
I'm
not the
locked
team.
in. I think I might have got the name wrong, but I'll say more afterwards. I know what he pitched really well and got hurt and got traded.
Oh, so you know.
I know who he is. I just can't. The name's like skipping my mind. I remember this guy. He had like one good run fantasy wise, and he got traded.
You literally have everything about him.
No, and most of these guys I do. Just the names are skipping my mind right now. I know exactly who he. Oh man. The good thing is Toby takes his time, so maybe it finally clicks in on me.
I'm done. I sent mine in.
Okay, so all of them are locked in. The answer is Ricky Romero.
Yes. Oh, I had the last name right. Does that count?
Doesn't he have like a? Didn't he have like a goatee normally?
I don't think so.
I think
this
so.
Or is that JC Romero?
Yeah, I
And
typed
his
in
last
JC
name is
Romero.
JC Romero.
I had the last name right, like half a point.
You know what? You did
Come
have.
on. I said first name and he said no. So
You know what? I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to give each of them a point to make this game competitive here.
Oh my gosh, this is you changing the rules once
No,
again.
they have. I see Romero.
Oh
and
my
I saw
god.
Aaron.
Oh, collusion.
So
Where was his last team?
the last team was the Blue Jays. He got traded to the Giants, but he never pitched for them. He got hurt or something like that, and he went back to Toronto.
Yeah.
So we have the answers. I have no idea. Reds from Pancakes. We have JC Romero, Philadelphia. But since Doc, you've also only been putting the last names up until no, you've been mixing up last names and first names.
Wait. So how many players have the last name Fogg or Harang?
That's true. Okay, but so Bob, I'm going to give you the point for Romero, Philadelphia.
Wow.
Octavia.
Giving away points to Bubba.
You got the one too, though.
I said the whole story of his career. Like I knew who he was.
Octavio Dotel
I did,
for the Mets from Cheesecake.
That's fine. I didn't know who he was.
And then Ricky Romero, Blue Jays from Doc. Doc, they made it.
Doc is rolling.
So nice job with that one. Doc, you got 2 points.
Jeez.
I don't know where you're at.
We've been on this game for like 20 minutes. Feel free to end it now. 5 is a lot.
No, we'll keep going. Give him a chance. So I think Doc, you have 6. Cheesecake has 4.
All right, 4. Yeah.
I think
have
Toby,
2.
you've got 3, and then Bubba's got 2. All right.
where did I get the third one from?
I gave you the point for Aaron since
I put Eric. I shouldn't have a point for that.
Did you put
Look
Aaron?
how honesty is. Look how
I put Eric. Yeah, not Aaron.
Oh, you're right. That was totally my bad.
Yeah, I only have 2.
Okay.
It's all right. I'm an honest person.
I like it. All right.
Oh, man, I want to play cards with you guys.
I don't know if you guys can hear my small child banging against the wall.
Number 6.
Through, but
I got this one.
oh, you put a giant?
Yep.
That's one of his teams.
It's good they didn't put the batting stance down.
That would actually given it away. Yeah.
Yep. The team's the fun part, though.
This one, I don't think I'll be surprised if you get this one, Doc.
Oh, yeah. Mine auto corrected, but I think it works.
David,
I at least got the player. The team's tough because
David, are you going to be surprised? Are you going to be surprised if I get the team or the player?
The player, actually, because I wouldn't have been able to pick his picture out. He was, I think, one of the 1 or 2 that I wouldn't have been able to get. Everybody's locked in, I think, then besides Doc.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So everybody's locked in. The correct answer is Aaron Rowand.
Yes.
And his last team was the San Francisco Giants in 2011. So
Yeah,
again,
I missed that part.
What did you put, Bubba?
I put Arizona. You never played for Arizona.
I put the Phillies.
I knew it was Phillies before
I
the
put
Giants.
Phillies,
He got traded from the Phillies to the Giants.
so
I remember that.
everybody got Aaron Rowand, but Doc was the only one that actually got the Giants.
Of course, look at me. He's like eyebrow wagging over there.
David's just saying, yeah, I don't think you're going to notice.
To be honest, I didn't know it. Like I Googled.
His career was never the same when he ran into the fence and broke his nose.
That's true. That batting stance to look like he's taking a poop every time he was out there.
Yeah,
It was
That's
amazing.
what it was.
He
Let's
carries
move
the bat
to-
on his shoulders hard.
We'll move to number 7.
He looks hopeful.
Oh, this
Look
is
at that.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna bug me.
You've definitely seen him in other uniforms too. But
Mhm. Yeah, I've lost this game. It's official.
David, I like seeing these old people.
I was just a rabbit hole, and I was just Googling guys.
I got it now. I got it now.
No.
I got the I got the player. Now the team's the hard part. Let's go with that. Just give it a whirl. But I got the player.
Doc, you haven't locked your answer in yet, I don't think.
I'm locked.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I sent it to you.
Yours hasn't updated then.
Yeah, I sent it like a minute ago.
I have.
I mean, I'll show you guys my phone that says Senate 241.
Do we get an extra point for knowing his nationality?
No, because we all know that.
Oh, okay. I just had to refresh them. I don't know why.
Him and Joey Votto hang out together.
Mhm.
Oh, I already lied. I had
Drake,
no idea.
Drake is their paparazzi.
Yes, him and Justin Bieber. They listen to Nickelback.
All right. So, all right. I just had to refresh your guys' feeds. For some reason, they all froze for a second. So, the correct answer was Jason Bay.
Oh.
And the team he was on last was the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, missed that one.
In 2013. So, everybody guessed Jason Bay except for Cheesecake. He just said Rangers.
No, I didn't know what it was. Like,
But no one got the team, the other three. So everybody got a point except Cheesecake for that one. So add that to your score. Let's go to number 8. I think this was the number 1 where if you guys don't get the guy, I will be very disappointed in all you guys.
Damn,
this is a very
pressure on me.
recognizable.
This
That's
is
pressure.
Big time pressure. Oh
Okay,
yeah, that's easy. Well, the guy part is easy.
Yeah, the team will be a little more difficult.
Yeah, he played a lot of places.
I was just looking up his career the other day.
What made you do that?
Someone was talking. I'll tell you after we do this.
That's a heck of a would you rather situation.
Well, who is there's Easy E on Twitter is always dropping these like talks about like, oh, Ichiro wasn't that good because of this or blah blah blah, and so he's bringing up players all the time. What the hell did he finish his career?
Let me know when you guys lock in because
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
All right, so I'm going to refresh one by one because now they're locking. Okay, so the correct answer is Juan Pierre. And the last team, trick question, was the Miami Marlins in 2013.
Oh.
With his picture on the screen. So Toby Pancakes, Juan Pierre Rockies. So you get the 1 point. We had Keiki Smalls go with Juan Pierre Miami. He gets both points. Woo, that was a clutch one to get both. We had Cheesecake Juan Pierre Chicago Cubs. So you get the 1. And then Doc, who is in the lead currently, he went Juan Pierre Dodgers.
It's like the third Dodgers guess he's had.
I know. I was like, if I don't put Dodgers for this one, it's gonna be Dodgers.
And the bright side is he played for every team that was mentioned, so that's good.
He really did. So hold on. So what's the score update while we have the last 2?
I have 6.
I have 1 less than Bubba.
6-5.
I think.
I have 10.
I have 6.
Doc already won, but we're playing for second place now.
All right, last 2.
Third
Wait,
place.
how much you guys have?
Oh, I have 6.
Technically, if he didn't get any of the last 2, but I
Yeah,
think
I'd have to get all of them.
All right, this next one.
Make sure you don't blow it, Doc. Last thing we need is Bubba like, I'm 3-0.
This guy retired actually semi-recently.
Ooh, that face looks familiar.
I'll give everybody a hint. You might have seen him wear stuff on his eyes.
No, I know who it is. No hints, David.
The team is slipping my mind.
I have no idea who it is.
We found Toby's real weakness.
Sent, David.
I'm locked in. But
I literally didn't watch baseball games for like 8 years on television.
Oh man.
In the like from like 2007 to like 3 years ago.
I might have to do a current version of these guys another time then. That might help it a little easier. So I think everybody's locked in.
No, I'm not.
Some good guesses. These are actually really good guesses. This was the other one. I don't know if I would have gotten at the top of my head if I had looked at it. You locked in, Toby?
Oh yeah, I'm locked in.
Stupid Twitter, not okay.
Big L.
All right. So the correct answer is Doug Fister.
Oh, yep. I got it
And
wrong.
his last team was the Texas Rangers in 2018. So we had a pancakes guess of Jordan Zimmerman from the Tigers. We had
who's a current player who I have no idea what he looks like.
we had Kiki Smalls go Kyle Farnsworth for the Yankees.
Because he started out skinny before he got big and crazy.
We had Cheesecake go Tyler Clippard and the Twins, which is actually, I think, a pretty good guess too. And then Doc went Doug Fister Astros. So that was good, Doc.
Doc, you're
Freaking
I'm
killing
very
it.
impressed.
Our last guy on the list. This is one of those, you guys all know this guy. Please just be one of those Juan Pierre moments.
Can we wait 1 second?
Oh, go ahead.
Can this be worth 13 points?
and Doc can't answer.
I think
And Doc can't answer.
Oh man, I'm not even gonna know this one, guys.
you don't know this one?
Oh, I got this one. Yeah. He threw an amazing no-hitter.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
I'm trying to help you, Toby, as a friend.
Doesn't help me. Doesn't help me at all. I don't know, but somebody needs to do work on his beard.
All right, I'm locked in.
It's not symmetrical.
He wants to be a goat, so he wants to look like one because he can't pitch like one.
I got all the answers locked, I think, except Toby.
I think I got this one. Probably not, actually.
So all you guys that have locked in have the guy's name correct.
Yeah, I missed the team. I just went and looked the team up, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anymore because Toby's still picking, but yeah.
So I will say it as he's finishing typing here. Oh, there we go. Locked in.
What do you say? What do you say?
So Toby's answer was loser Durham Bulls.
That's good. That's good.
With that facial hair, I can't disagree. Bubba, Art, you guys both said Matt Garza, and then Cheesecake, you said Rangers. Kiki Smalls, you said Tampa Bay. Those are both incorrect. Doc said Matt Garza and Brewers, which are both
Of course
correct.
he did. Of course he did. Like, Jesus Christ, Doc.
How is he getting all these?
I don't know.
I think there's a family thing. He like hacked into your account or something.
I feel really weird that I know what a bunch of retired players in the MLB and NFL look like.
Did you collect
You should
baseball
not-
cards during this decade?
I did, but I just feel like I look at a lot of players' fantasy profiles, or I played a lot of video games.
You have no reason. You have no reason to justify your talent in this game. I'm serious. You just crushed it. I feel like back in the day, I would have known every single athlete's face, and now I'm just washed up. You know. So enjoy your championship. You don't have to justify it. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant performance.
I just want the one-person cheer.
I was going to say, I have to say, we had the undefeated guy coming in. We had the guy coming in with momentum with his last game. Cheesecake wins a fair amount of them. But the underdog, the guy that nobody believed in, gets his
That one person.
cheer.
That one person always believes in me.
That's his cheering section. But Doc, instead of giving you your 15-second FaceTime for the win, I want to say thank you to these fellas, two of our favorite guys, if not our favorite guys in the industry. So much fun talking with you guys as always. If you want to give a chance to let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter, all your work, projects you're working on. Toby, why don't we start with you and then we'll go to Bubba.
My name is Toby Pancakes. You can reach me on Twitter at BatFlipCrazy. I promise that hopefully my Twitter and fantasy baseball content is a better representation of me as an individual than my performance in this trivia game. I would like to congratulate Doc on that. And I would also like to congratulate Bubba, because while neither of us did win, he defeated me. And so
hey guys, remember we said it was a team effort to take down Bubba.
I'm 1-2, and you're 3-0, Bubba.
Oh, see, he's too nice. This is why he couldn't be the assassin. Like, I'm 2-1. I'm 2-1. I appreciate it, Toby. I'm 2-1/1-0. Let's put it that way.
I like that. That's a good way to separate.
That's a good.
It's like my conference record and my overall record.
Yeah, conference
my
record.
overall.
Yeah. Yep.
And I do a podcast called the Batflip Crazy Fantasy Baseball Podcast with this gentleman over. I can't figure these things out. Everything's backwards. But yeah. So check it out. I promise it's better than I did today.
I have to say before Bubba goes, I was genuinely shocked because I was like, these are guys that have played. These guys are gonna like crush it. I was waiting for like a dog fight, and
I was disappointed in myself. I'll say that much. I was very disappointed in myself.
A little secret. For a very long time in my fantasy baseball career, I did not watch games. Like, I watched a very little amount of games for a good chunk of time. And now I've been exposed. So feels good.
Kiki Smalls, if you want to take it away, you can tell everybody else all your stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric. Soon to be found at Kiki Smalls. But you can check out my written content at rotoballer.com and fantasydgens.com. The Bench with Bubba podcast and the Bubba and the Batflip podcast. Always fun stuff there. There's much more. I got some DFS stuff coming up and all kinds of goodies. So check me out on the Twitter. It gets live streamed. It gets tweeted too much. I talk too much on Twitter. So, yeah, all that kind of stuff. You'll find it there. But always a pleasure. Doc, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Doc, do you want your one-person cheer again?
No, don't overuse it. Don't overuse it.
There you go. Well, again, these fine gentlemen, some of our best friends in the industry, they're great guys, great follows, and great people. So make sure if you're not following them already, you do so. And tune in next week. We've got Yancey Eden and we got Sammy Reed crashing the party.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I know, and I'm not going to be there. I'm so sad.
Oh, no. That partner, that bromance, you guys are screwed. You guys are in trouble.
We were doing 2 for Marches since we were doing like with you guys, the Enrico crew last week. I was like, all right, you can pick any guest you want. And that was his choice. So
that's his boo. Like, you better have some like not safe for like work content, like logo on your stuff. They might be shirtless. Just put it that way.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we went before them, because if we had to go after them, whoo.
Oh my God. Now I have to like brace myself. And we've got Doc not going to be here next week too, so it's going to be more to have to soak in with them. But
it's okay, Yancey, you'll take the airtime. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. So until then, everybody, make sure you stay safe. Make sure you enjoy all the great spring training baseball. Adjust your rankings accordingly. We'll catch you all next week.